John Cleland in the 16-valve Astra can take another class win and fastest lap, then Vauxhall will take the title from James Weaver and BMW.
This is a bogey place for me because I've had punctures here, I've had wheels fall off here, all sorts of things go wrong. Hopefully that won't happen today and our lads have put the car together well. The thing that does concern me is we qualified right in the middle of the pack, which is probably 7 or 8 cars further forward than we really normally do, and there's 7 or 8 BMWs behind me, which are thereabout, and that concerns me a bit, that there's a fair bit of pushing and shoving. But all year I've been concerned, since James and I have been tying, that there's a BMW out there that might just lean on me sometime along the line. Now I'm so close to them, I'll be able to watch them all, back and front.
From the crowd's point of view, perhaps the main issue is Class A. The results pending Andy Rouse's appeal against alleged engine infringements, but the battle is between Rouse and Rob Gravitt for the class title.
Well, I think it is going to be a battle as well, because Andy's very, very quick round here, and you know, it's going to be the race to watch for sure. It's probably going to be the best race of the year, I should think. I'm going to be going hard. I know Andy's going to be going hard, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
The last round of the tremendously successful Esso British Touring Car Championship at Silverstone is fittingly going to decide who will be the 1989 champion. 34-year-old James Weaver from East Ilsley has 10 wins and 9 fastest laps from 12 races, a superb record. James drives a 320 horsepower 2.3-litre BMW M3. The same type of car that won his teammate Frank Sittner last year's championship. But Scotsman John Llewellyn from faraway Peebles can beat James. If he wins his class today and makes the fastest lap in his 2-litre Vauxhall Astra, he'll be champion. So his team are leaving nothing to chance, with last-second checks on the grid to make sure that John's main problem today will be to keep out of trouble. As ever, it's a rolling start for the 15-lap race over Silverstone's full 2.9-mile Grand Prix circuit, and the 35 cars and drivers set off after the pace car in ideal conditions. But not John Llewellyn, that's Cleland at the back of the grid, and everybody's surging past him, and he seems to be having some sort of a gear selection problem. Now, even if he gets going, he's got to stay at the back, that's the rule. He's got going. There's the Jaguar fire tender going ahead of him, and he's away. Let's see what he does. Well, he's past the Jaguar, but sensibly he is staying last. Actually, I don't think it's too much of a setback. John's Astra is so fast that it should catch all his class rivals quite easily. But we'll see. Round Copse Corner, last on the grid, John Cleland with a chance of the championship. But there's something new up front. Proudly leading round in pole position, Welshman Carl Jones from Lambton. It's his first pole position, a superb achievement against the high-budget teams. But Carl did his banzai lap on a damp track. Now it's bone dry. Maybe that'll affect his tyres. So there he is, pole position. Andy Rouse, second on the grid. Rob Gravitt, the championship class leader, third. And Chris Hodgetts from Redditch, a superb fourth with a new team. Mike Smith, fifth in the sister car of Rob Gravitt. Guy Edwards, sixth in, he says, his last race for a while. Tim Harvey, seventh, that's well down for him. And Graham Good, a strong eighth. Bristow, who's Harvey's teammate, ninth position. Veteran Dave Brodie in 10th place. Sean Walker is 11th. And Blackburn's Mike Newman, 12th. 12 Sierra Cosworths. James Weaver's the fastest BMW at 13th. There, number 56, the joint championship leader, John Cleland in the Vauxhall Astra, starting last. Out of the complex, don't forget it is a rolling start. The pace car in front, it will peel away into the pit lane as they come out of the right-hander at Woodcote. He does so, and it's 35 Road Rockets go down to Copse Corner. Rob Gravitt's leading, Jones is second on the left. Andy Rouse on the outside is in third position, and Tim Harvey's up into fourth place. Now we're in car with Andy Rouse. Jones and Gravitt ahead. Harvey and Smith have gone past. Now that is Mike Smith in the red and white Sierra on the right. We're riding with Andy Rouse. We're past Mike Smith. Into the right-hander at Beckett's. Jones running very wide. Harvey's gone up into second place. Guy Edwards over the curb, dropping back. That's cost him dear. Back in car with Andy Rouse. Carl Jones ahead. Now down the Hanger Straight, building to 155 miles an hour. Rob Gravitt leads. Harvey second. Then together, it's Rouse, Jones, Smith and Graham Good into Stowe Corner. Rouse up into third position outside Carl Jones. So now down into Club Corner for the first time. Gravitt, Harvey, Rouse. Carl Jones with the yellow covers on his headlights in fourth position. In car with Lawrence Bristow now. He is in seventh position, out of Abbey at 140 miles an hour. Graham Good ahead in sixth place, and we're closing up on him very fast indeed. Into the left, now the second part of the corner, the right-hander, and he's tapped Good, he's hit Good, spun him round. And zonked straight into Graham Good's car goes Dave Brodie, and they are obviously both out of the race. Rob Gravitt is leading. Andy Rouse is now up into second place. There he goes, Tim Harvey in third position in the Blue Sierra. In car with Rouse now, just watch his hands on the steering wheel, on the gear lever. Second, chasing Rob Gravitt. Into the left-hander at Maggots, that's about 140 miles an hour. Down to Beckett, 75 miles an hour. 4 wins to Rob Gravitt, 5 wins to Andy Rouse, and Rouse needs to win this one for the Class Championship. Down the Hanger Straight now. Out of Chapel, 155 miles an hour soon, and Rouse is going for it. He's dodging about behind Gravitt's car, and he's powering straight past. There is a real horsepower advantage there. So Gravitt in second position. Harvey is still third, and Rouse has now got a clear track in front of him, and so has Dave Brodie, but for all the wrong reasons. Yet another disappointment in a very contentious season, and that's Graham Good's car being recovered. Dave Brodie, bit of whiplash it looks like. He looks fit enough, sprinting away back to the pits. Now here's a replay of Good's spin. Now watch him very carefully. He's hit by Bristow, who hits him again, that's twice, 180-degree spin, and Brodie, unsighted, goes straight into him. Poor Graham out of the race through no fault of his own. And at the complex, it's Rouse leading, Gravitt second, Harvey in third position. Those three have broken away from the rest. First, second and third, they are all race winners, and the battle is on. Through the chicane, Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey, down the straight, lap 3, that's the order. Rouse leading, Gravitt second, Harvey in third position, Bristow fourth, Smith fifth, Jones sixth, Walker is seventh, and Hodgetts is in eighth position. Now there is Jones, Walker, Hodgetts, and back at the complex, championship leader John Cleland is up to 23rd out of 35. And he's leading his class. He's broken the lap record, and that will do nicely, John. There's his rival, James Weaver. He is leading Class B in the BMW M3. And Smith is going for Carl Jones as they go out of the right-hander of the complex. Jones nearly loses it. Just gets control again. Out of the chicane, down the straight, on their way to Cops Corner, and Chris Hodgetts is attacking Mike Smith for sixth position. Chris in the white Sierra, Smith in the red and white one. Something has come off one of the cars there. Newman into the pits. Now why? There is nothing obviously wrong with his car. Let's see what happens. Loose bodywork, rubbing on the tyre. They're going to change the left front. And that'll be a big delay for Mike Newman. That's effectively finished his chances of a good place in the race. You can see how loose that bodywork is. And that's Ian Forrest, almost lost the BMW. Godfrey Hall passing him in the black BMW. Frank Sittner passing him on the right, and they sandwich him. Bonk, bonk, on either side. A BMW sandwich, and away they go. Godfrey Hall ahead of Frank Sittner. They're both following James Weaver, who is well ahead in his class. Hodgetts is fifth. Chris Hodgetts, number 25, has gone ahead of Mike Smith into fifth position. Smith down to sixth, Jones down to seventh. And Hodgetts in the car previously driven by Gerrit Van Kouwen, the Dutchman. And Chris is really peddling it. In car with Jerry Marney, ninth place, ahead Sean Walker, Carl Jones, Mike Smith, Chris Hodgetts. Staving off Marney. There's Marney. And there is Llewellyn in the Ford, and he is closing up. Copse Corner. Now look for Jerry Marnie. There's Walker, there's Marnie. Guy Edwards behind them in 10th place. Flames stabbing from the turbos and the exhausts. And at Stowe, Andy Rouse leads. Gravett is second, and it looks as though Andy is in control. But even if he wins the class, the championship is only provisional for him. There's Hodgetts, Smith, Jones, Walker, Edwards going for 9th, past Marnie. Now the end of another lap, no change at the front, and if Andy Rouse stays first, he will provisionally win the class championship. But there's going to be a lot of arguing before that happens. Lap 11, there's the order. Rouse, Gravett, Harvey, Bristow 4th, Hodgetts 5th, Smith 6th, Edwards in 7th position. And back at the complex, Nick May in the red bi-turbo Maserati is being engulfed. Mike Smith has already passed him. Guy Edwards and Carl Jones, and there is Jones, will be doing so soon. Hodgetts, 5th position. Smith in 6th place. Now there is May, and sure enough, Guy Edwards goes through, passes the Maserati. He will take Carl Jones with him shortly. And in car with Marnie, not making any impression on Sean Walker as he comes out of Copse Corner, onto Maggots. Goes up a gear, and another. Now Beckett's down through the gearbox. And there they go, Walker and Marnie. Now, they are out of Chapel Curve, down the hangar straight, chasing Nick May. Sean Walker goes past the Maserati. Now it is Jerry Marnie's turn, right up alongside him into the racing line, and there's contact. And he's lost it. Jerry Marnie's lost it. Looks over his shoulder, straight onto the gravel trap. And that is it.
Wally! Wally!
I don't think Jerry is at all happy. And I suppose you can hardly blame him. Well, his race is well and truly over. Now let's have a look at it again. Marnie on the left, May on the right. Well, Jerry's a big bloke, and I better watch my words, but that looked like a Marnie shove to me. Anyway, whatever, they are both out of the race, Marnie and May. And now, Rob Gravett is on his way down to hangar. He is right on the tail of Andy Rouse's car. Number 1, Andy Rouse, race leader at Stowe. They're lapping the midfield men, including, incidentally, John Dooley there, the Alfa Romeo man who is having his first drive in a Sierra, and Andy Rouse has got his hands full of more than the steering wheel. Right behind him, Rod Gravett going for it. Out of club, now up to Abbey. There's a slight climb here, up to the bridge and the complex. And Gravett is going through. Gravett is taking the lead. He has taken the lead, and there's contact. And off goes Gravett, not quite off. Andy Rouse keeps on his way. There's going to be a big argument about that too, I am sure. Rob Gravett gets away, but in the process, Tim Harvey there is right up with Gravett. So second and third are together, and Andy Rouse, the leader, has got away. The whole race transformed in a twinkling. Copse Corner. Now, Rob Gravett really has got a problem with the championship because of Tim Harvey, who's pressuring him. Look at him. If he gets by, Rob Gravett is going to have had it. Maggots. Andy Rouse is on his way to win number 6 and a new lap record. 1 minute 37.3. That is 110 miles an hour. Now, here is a replay of that controversial incident. Rouse into the complex, left. Look for Gravett on the left. There he is. He goes to the apex. There is absolutely nowhere for Andy Rouse to go, but he pushes his way through, shakes his fist, and Rob Gravett, there he is. Half a car ahead, but that is not enough, and he pays the price. Copse Corner, Andy Rouse. And there is Rob, 2.5 seconds behind him, with Harvey absolutely with the red and white car in front. But that 2.5 seconds should be enough for Andy Rouse. Now here it is at Beckett's. There is the lead car. 2.5 seconds is a big lead for Rouse, but my goodness, there is no lead for Rob Gravett. Tim Harvey's getting closer and closer all the time as they centre straight. Harvey is in a Rouse-prepared Sierra, and they really fly. He dummies to the left, he goes to the right and attacks Rob Gravitt. He's got the car alongside Gravitt, he hits him. Rob Gravitt's been hit again. Harvey goes through into second place. Rob Gravitt just manages to hold the car, but he is down into third position. The chicane, Andy Rouse, 1 lap to go. Over the line, he is on his last lap. 41 years old, Andy Rouse from Radford Semele, 20 years a racer, mostly saloons, but Formula Ford as well. Here is John Cleland, the champion designate. It's been a great first year for Vauxhall and for the Dave Cook Racing team. There they are, and there is John's father, Bill, the team manager, as Cleland starts his last lap for his 11th win in 13 races and 12 fastest laps. An amazing achievement. Cleland on his way then. But Andy Rouse is almost home, almost a full lap ahead of Cleland into the complex. Lights blazing. This is it. Andy Rouse, appropriately number 1, wins the race and provisionally wins the class championship. Tim Harvey behind him in second place. In third position, the unfortunate Rob Gravitt. Lawrence Bristow in fourth place. Chris Hodgett's fifth. And here's the fight for 6 with Guy Edwards and Mike Smith. Into the chicane, Edwards is going to take it in the blue and white car. Smith in 7th place, and John Clark loses it. And I should think the car was alarmed with that. Clark chews up the Silverstone turf over the rumble strip, back onto the track to do his last lap. Meantime, almost home to win the British Touring Car Championship of 1989, John Cleland in his Vauxhall Astra 16 valve. A very potent combination indeed in their first season of touring car racing. And a very happy team too. A very happy team, a very happy combination, and an even happier John Llewellyn. Well done, John.
Celebration then, and controversy. The controversy in Class A. Andy Rouse named provisional winner. Rob Gravitt immensely aggrieved after that coming together at Woodcote. This is Rouse's version.
We came up through Abbey there. He was quite a distance back, and then as we sort of come up to the braking point to go into the chicane there, he's right alongside me and pushed in on the inside, and then cut across the front of me, so I had nowhere to go. So, I mean, I went all over the curbs and all the rubbish anyway, which was a big risk to me as far as damaging the car was concerned and the all cutters. But I mean, I had no choice but to hit him. I mean, there's just nowhere for me to go. It was exactly the same as Sittner and Weaver earlier in the season. You know, he did exactly the same thing. Yeah. And you know, he was a bit hasty really. If he'd just bided his time, he'd have been there with a crack at the end. You know, but really, as far from my point of view, it was his fault. You know, and it almost screwed up my race as well.
It's been a hard-fought series, a hard-fought championship. Was that incident simply typical of that?
No, it wasn't. I think it was at the end of a very good racing season. I think it's a sad note to finish on that. I don't think it's necessary to drive like that, and I don't think I will change my driving style. I believe it is a non-contact sport because it's dangerous. I mean, we're travelling at very, very fast speeds, and you know, you can hurt people like that. But then that's another story, isn't it?
The main story is that Scotland's John Llewellyn claims the overall Esso British Championship. Vauxhall beat BMW, but was Llewellyn's delayed start a problem or a well-thought-out plan?
Sometimes when you rev this little Astra up, it won't select the gear properly, you get too many revs on the clock, and I think that's what I did for the first couple of chances. And then when I realised that all the BMWs were passing me, I thought it was maybe a better idea under the circumstances to just stay out of trouble. And then I had to let too many cars pass because I then couldn't rejoin in my grid position. So it seemed at the end of the day a safer thing to do. I spent all year staying out of the way of BMWs, and I figured that I was in the pack and it was maybe better to sort of steer clear of the trouble.
There was no element of a predetermined plan.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
You were a little bit worried about that before.
Yes, well, James Weaver's mechanics tried to lock me in the truck before the race, so I knew there was a plan afoot somewhere.
So the 1989 British Championship ends in Champagne and the appeal court. 6 months now to knock out all the dents before it all starts again in a new and even more competitive formula.